Okay, so we're going to cover the future directions of quantum. Now, the way we're going to do this is, and by the way, this is a little bit different than last year. We're going to do this session at the beginning of the Q Group conference and not at the end. That's because a big part of this presentation is looking back over the last 12 months and talking to you a little bit about what we've done. And we then want you to, you're going to be interested in a lot of this stuff. You have the opportunity to go to our booth and ask our trainers about it, have it demonstrated to you, rather than tell you at the end of the conference when it's all over. So we're going to encourage you to do that. So the way we'll do this, as I say, Nicola Hanna will cover some enhancements that were done in the last 12 months. Nicola is the VP of Operations. He manages customer support. He's part of a panel of people that review every custom programming request that comes in. Issues that our customers are having with our software all get escalated to him. So he participates in a very big way in the evolution of the product. And after he's done with that, I'll talk a little bit about the trends we see and where we think we're going. Now, before he gets started, I just want to explain the evolution process, how quantum moves along. Most of the enhancements we do, and we did 400 different enhancements in the last 12 months. We're not going to talk about all of them here today. There's not time, but we'll talk about the ones we think are the most interesting. And, you can always go to the release notes on our website to see all the rest. But those 400 enhancements come from recommendations, suggestions from our current customer base. They also come from brand new customers going through our implementation process, new customers, new ideas. We're always learning something new. Customer growth. We have a lot of examples of customers that started out as a 10-user system, and then before you know it, there are 100 users. And that dynamic of starting out small and then growing up with the same ERP software brings a different insight into the features and the processes they need, because as they get larger, they need a different process. So Quantum has to be able to cater to both the small customers and the large customers. So that's important feedback for us. Tech support. We use this term tech support, customer support interchangeably. If our customers are going to have issues with our application, it's going to come through the customer support group. And really what our customers are all trying to do is work smarter and faster, both in terms of getting through the application, but also being smarter because the application gives them the information they need. So we get a lot of feedback through that dynamic. And finally, there are changes in technology that really having more to do with lowering the cost of some of this new technology, touch screens, mobile devices, integrating quantum with other applications, web services. These technologies are becoming lower and lower in cost, and they are now within our reach to fold into the quantum package. So you're going to see a little bit of that. So with that, I'll turn it over to Nick.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Nicola Hanna, VP of Operations at Component Control. As Todd mentioned, we did over 400 enhancements to the software this last year. Definitely not going to go over all of them, but I have picked some of the ones that I felt were the most significant. So I'm going to take this time to share with you what we've been doing over the last year. So I'd like to start off with the inventory control module. And by the way, this is in no particular order, just kind of going around this the Oracle database icon, touching on all the modules. So with the inventory control module, we've focused on the unverified parts portion of it. And for those of you that use unverified parts, you know that it kind of smooths out the bottlenecks in the process of creating quotes and not letting a user stop what they're doing in order to get a part added into the system. It allows a user to add a part with minimal information and then put it in an unverified parts list where a manager can go in and, verify that these parts are the correct parts that are added, or the information or the manufacturer code is correct, or if it already exists under a different part name, he can merge those parts in. So we store all of our unverified parts in a list, and everybody's been using this more and more, and sometimes that list can get a little bit hard to navigate, so we've added the ability to search unverified parts in this list. We've also expanded on our parts warning functionality. We've added this for unverified parts. Currently it wasn't available, or prior it wasn't available, but now it is. It uses the same parts warning system that we have for our standard master parts. And a pretty cool feature here that we've added for those of you that are using the customer portal, if you have a customer that logs in and wants to send you an RFQ for a part that they either mistyped or you don't currently have in your system, it'll still go ahead and add that quote into your system. However, the part number that they're referencing will be added as an unverified part, so that ensures that you never miss out on a sales opportunity. Company management. Much like unverified parts, we have unverified companies. It works pretty much the same way. We've added the ability to search unverified companies now in the list. And we've also added portal visibility for contacts. We use Contact Manager pretty heavily at Component Control. And one of the methods that I use to keep track of our contacts is to have this default portal flag checked. That way when contacts are created, it will ensure that the visible to portal flag is enabled on that contact record. You guys are probably more familiar with that in the form of trackers for those of you that have access to our tracker portal. FedEx and UPS integration. This is a new module that we came out with this year. It integrates with our shipping manager module, so you need this in order to run this integration. And basically what it does is it integrates with local software running on your local clients. So UPS WorldShip software, FedEx Ship Manager, etc. It's kind of like a two-way integration. It allows you to take your address information and propagate that over into the FedEx or UPS software, and then from there you can print out your shipping label and calculate your rates, and information such as your airway bill will come back over into Quantum, saving you time and eliminating data entry. Emailing out of Quantum. We've added a new SMTP email enhancement, which allows you to integrate with popular free email providers such as Gmail or Yahoo. You can configure this per user rather than one global setting, and it allows for easier system administration. You can have some of your users using MAPI, integrating with your Outlook that you have running locally on your machine, or you can have it run through the SMTP client, which doesn't need a MAPI install. Exchanges. One of the big ones here. We've added an option to auto expense cost on a repair order. For those of you guys that do these types of transactions, you'll know that you have to go through the vendor quote wizard and expense the cost. This saves you time by not having to do that because there's an option in the repair order that allows you to do that automatically. Option to keep original work order number on exchange. For those of you that do Type 5 exchanges where you start off with an external work order and then exchange it out for a new unit, this allows you to keep the original work order number rather than canceling the work order and creating a new one. This provides for better traceability, and also so you don't have to reprint all of your traveler documents, and your tasks will still work with the new work order. Lot costing. We've added an option to transfer multiple items into and out of the lot. The way this works is if you have a lot that has items into it and you want to transfer out, you can flag all the items that you want to remove out of the lot. It saves time for relieving your inventory and closing out of a lot. On the other end of that, transferring items into a lot. You can start out with an empty lot and click the transfer in button, and it'll bring you a window where you can put in your search criteria and flag as many items as you want to transfer into the lot. So it also helps out when you're creating a lot from scratch. Crystal reports. This is part of an ongoing project that we have to convert all of our standard reports in Quantum into Crystal reports. I think we've got most of the important ones, but we still have quite a ways to go to get everything transferred over. So we've added several more Crystal reports, several more standard reports into the Crystal format. And the advantage of using Crystal reports is, you can do more things with it. You can search the report, you can export the report, and it's kind of an industry standard way of doing reporting. You can find people who can do custom Crystal reports pretty much anywhere in the world, so it's really easy to create new custom reports that you'd like, and also provides better parameter input on the reports page. Security. This is a big one here. We've done Active Directory integration. This is something our customers have been wanting for a long time. Basically allows you to access Quantum using your Windows credentials and makes it a lot easier for administrators to manage passwords. We've also added track changes auditing to more modules, otherwise known as audit trail functionality. We don't have this everywhere in the system, but we're always looking to put it in more places that our customers want to have better visibility and control of who's doing what in the system. We've added search functionality in the security tree. For those of you administrators out there, you know that navigating our security tree it could be pretty cumbersome. I mean, there's probably several hundred different areas that you can grant and revoke rights to. So the way this is going to work is if you have an error message that gives you an access denied message, it'll give you a security ID. You can go into the security tree and search for that security ID, and it will take you right to the spot where you need to grant access. Event Manager, one of our most powerful modules, pretty much no end to what it can do. We've added better error handling to the Event Manager, so it's going to be easier to troubleshoot events that didn't fire off for whatever reason. We've added a customizable email subject line feature, so pretty much you can use variables to put in your email subject line, like a PO number or a customer name or pretty much anything that you guys can think of in the subject line of the email. More standard events added to the Event Manager library. We're always looking to add more and more things in there. One of the ones that we did was we used header statuses on the PO, SO, and RO modules. So instead of just having a default open and close status, it's a user-defined table where you can add pretty much any status that you want. You can have several open statuses, several closed statuses, and we've added standard Event Manager notifications that you guys can customize to work off of those particular statuses. Manufacturing. Excuse me. We've done quite a bit over here. We've added 8130 CAAC and EASA certification. This is where you go in and you can have an authorized individual sign off on certification, and it'll save it through the document imaging module and pretty much lock that document down. Offers better regulatory compliance and provides control over security, versions, and the history of all your certifications. We've done a lot of work around subassemblies for manufacturing orders. We've added an auto reserve of subassemblies, so now what it will do when you do an auto reserve for your materials is it'll go through and supply your subassemblies from inventory, and then take another pass through it and then supply all of the rest of your bill of materials. So it's more accurate in the regard that you're not going to reserve bill of material for items that you have already sitting in stock. We added the ability to add subassemblies directly to a manufacturing order. It allows for on-the-fly changes to your MO. This is useful for people who are using standard manufacturing orders, and there's a variance that comes in, or you now have the capability to manufacture a part rather than purchase it. So it allows for more flexibility in the way that you manage your manufacturing orders. We've added the ability to status the main manufacturing order to control your sub-orders. For those that have several sub-assemblies, previously you would have to go in and status all of your sub-assemblies individually. Now you can status the main order, and it'll have a trickle-down effect all the way down and hitting all of your sub-assemblies. Shop floor control. we've added a BOM import functionality. Saves you guys time on data entry and allows you to import directly into the work order rather than having to add items one by one through the Parts Management tab or the Quick BOM menu. Purchase external work order. This is something that I've been hearing for quite a while. We've added a streamlined process of acquiring a customer unit. Previously, there wasn't really a clean way to do this. I've seen many creative methods that our customers have been doing over the past couple of years, but now we've added a process for this. So if you guys are working on an external work order and you want to buy it out from your customer, we put a link into the PO and there's a process that will convert your external work order into an internal work order. We've added price lines to the bill of material, making it easier to price items before the quote is created. And on the quoting and billing side, we've added price lines to the billing group. Also, SO category code has been added throughout the work order module. So this provides more flexibility with accounting, pretty much no end to the combination, profit centers that you guys want to record, and provides on the quoting and billing, provides an expansion on the quoting and billing combinations that you can do. Contact Manager. Like I mentioned before, this is one of the main modules that we use. Most of you may know we use Quantum Control to run our business, back at headquarters. And Contact Manager is kind of the cornerstone module that we use. We use it to keep track of technical support tickets, any sales contacts, any custom programming, pretty much everything any communication that you guys have with us flows through our Contact Manager module. And we feel that it's very important for all of our customers to use this module as well. Last year, we've added links from the global menu of modules to create a contact directly from that module. And this year, we've added a few more places that we missed. We can now link the contact directly to a stock line. And we can link a contact to a work order task where previously you could only link it to a work order header. So it allows you to get down into the detail and link a contact directly to the lowest level. It's easier to launch contacts from within the application. So previously you'd have to go in and create a contact and then link it to a pre-existing record. Now you can launch a contact directly from that record and it'll automatically be linked. Accounting. Quite a few enhancements done over here. We've allowed for future dates to be able to be added on manual GL entries. This is useful for booking monthly accruals. QuickBooks Bridge. For those of you guys that are QuickBooks Bridge users, you guys know that it's an application that runs outside of Quantum. We've put it inside of Quantum now, so it now exists inside of the Quantum application. It gives you one place to run the accounting bridge. We've added the ability to flag which items in Quantum that you want to bridge over into QuickBooks, where previously you'd click a button and it would kind of do its thing and find everything that it needs to bridge and bring it over. So this gives you more control over what you want to bring into QuickBooks. Better error handling. We're showing the error message directly from QuickBooks so you know what is causing the problem and easily how to fix it. Better security around the QuickBooks database mappings and location. Since this is inside of the Quantum database, the mappings and the QuickBooks DB location aren't out there on the network for somebody to grab and do something malicious to. Inspect QuickBooks transaction from within Quantum. If you look at a transaction in Quantum, you can hit an inspect button, and it'll show you the actual QuickBooks transaction from the QuickBooks database. And no need to remap configuration. For those of you that need to reinstall QuickBooks or get a new computer or want to run it from a different machine, you still need to have QuickBooks installed on that machine that you're using it on, but you don't need to map the configuration because all of it is stored within the database. We've added an inventory write-down feature. This is a function to write down inventory cost based on any criteria that you specify. So if you guys have old inventory that you want to write down, through the accounting module, there's a function to go to the inventory write-down feature. link a charge from a work order to a work order from an AP. If you guys have a shipping charge that has arrived late and the work order's already been closed and sent out, you can add a charge to the AP module and link it to the work order, and then it'll go ahead and add it, and it'll provide for a more precise method of capturing costs. It'll hit your COGS account so you can more accurately report on your profitability. This is a big one here. Automated update of current period through Event Manager. For our accounting users, if you come in on August 1st, you want to beat everybody else into the office so you can go ahead and change the period to August 1st. Otherwise, all of the transactions would go into prior periods. Event Manager has been rigged so it'll go ahead and wake up on the 1st of the month or whenever you specify for it to run and find out what the current period is and automatically change it. This is definitely a good tool here and provides better accuracy and makes sure all of your accounting transactions go to the right period. Time and attendance. We've added more options for overtime calculations. Provides with better compliance for labor regulations. Asset management. We've added the functionality to import fixed assets, so it saves time for those of you guys that are starting out with the module and have a list of assets that you want to bring into the system. You no longer have to add them one by one. You can import them directly from a spreadsheet. Mobile apps. This is really a big project that we've been working on and we think is going to be the future of Quantum. Mobile apps allow you to stay connected to Quantum on a mobile device through a cellular or Wi-Fi networks. They're deployable on iOS, Android, and Windows platforms, so all of the major platforms it's compatible with. Some of the existing apps that we have are hanger and shop operations. It allows you to do labor collection in either batch or single entries. Creation of non-routine job cards. So you're on the plane and you guys see a discrepancy doing an inspection. It allows you to go ahead and add a non-routine job card directly onto the work package from whatever device it is that you're using. Saves you time. You don't need to leave the aircraft in order to go to Quantum and then put in the non-routine job card. You can add it directly from the mobile device. And you're able to capture images directly from the mobile camera on the device. So if you're using an iPad or a Surface or anything that has a camera attached to it, you can take a picture of what it is that you're doing, and it'll automatically use a document imaging module to attach that image to that record. And you can also view images that are currently added to job cards. Remote managed inventory. We have an app for this. It allows for implementation of Kanban systems for just-in-time inventory. This is very useful for if your employee is going out to your customer site to record usage of inventory. It's really cool because it has the ability to work offline, so you don't need to even be connected to any kind of a network. You can record the usage of inventory, and then when you reconnect back to the network, it'll go ahead and do a sync with the Quantum database and update the data that way. There's a lot more that we're doing here, and we have a session. Cole Davison, our Chief Technology Officer, is going to be giving this session after the break in the alternate room. So it's right next door. So if you guys want to hear more information about this and what's coming up, please go ahead and visit that session. Barcoding. We've done quite a bit of work here. For those of you guys that are using the generic BC application, you know that it started out as a simple labor collection tool, hence the name generic BC. It's not really generic anymore. We're adding more and more functionality into the barcoding application and allowing our users to not have to go back and forth and enter things into Quantum. They can do it very quickly from within the application. We've added the ability to update the work center and task and job card statuses in generic BC. And we've done quite a few touchscreen enhancements. We introduced touchscreen last year. You can either use it with a Surface tablet or a Windows PC that has a touchscreen monitor. Or if you don't have a touchscreen monitor, you can use a mouse to click on things rather than using a paper barcode. We've added the ability to update tasks and job card statuses. This can either be done with single job cards or through a batch status update. We've added job card sign-off to one of our touchscreen capabilities in the generic BC module. It allows it's an added layer of security and saves time from having the inspector needing to go into Quantum and sign off on the job card. We do have an example of this being radio frequency identification compatible. If you have a chip that has your credentials, you can go ahead and scan it across an RFID reader, and it'll put in your credentials and allow the inspector to sign off on the job card very quickly. We've added the ability to issue stock to a work order or work package. You can create bill of material on the fly if it doesn't currently exist on that work order or work package, as well as reserve and issue parts, and allows for our users to quickly manage the parts on the work orders rather than going in and doing manual data entry on the work orders. Quantum Dashboard. This is a new module that we came out with this year and is a really powerful tool. It basically allows for real-time web-based reporting. It connects over web services, so you don't need to have access to Quantum. It's accessible from anywhere. You can get on there from the airport on your laptop, pretty much anywhere where you have an internet connection. You're logging into the Quantum dashboard, and it's pulling data from your Quantum database in real time. It's very easily customizable. Anybody who knows how to run a simple SQL statement to pull information can create their own dashlets. So there's really no end to the possibility of things that you guys can do with this module. We do have a session on this module for more information. It's going to be the alternate session on Friday at 10:40. And Pietro Race, our Director of Advanced Services, is going to be the presenter in that session. Stock market. We've added quantum-to-quantum communication. This is, we're really leaning into the quantum business-to-business communication here. It kind of expands on our QCC files for those of you guys that use the stock market QCC file, where it automatically enters records into your Quantum database. Currently, we have a Q2Q, which stands for quantum-to-quantum integration. Basically, what that's doing is we have it working with our RFQ functionality, where somebody who's sending an RFQ has the ability to, they have the option to flag whether or not they want to attach a Q2Q file to that email. And then when you send it to your vendor, all they need to do is double-click on that file, and it'll automatically create the quote in the Quantum system. MV Parts functionality. We've added this to our stock market website. It allows you to easily rank your most valuable parts. You'll be able to see where your parts are showing, what their rank is on a list between the rest of your competitors. And you can take those parts and move them up or down, wherever, hopefully up. And you can put them, where you want. If you want to put it at the top of the list, it'll give you a dynamic price on what it'll cost you to have it listed in front of everybody else. Imaging and pricing control in the stock market dashboard. We came out with the stock market dashboard last year. It kind of is a place in Quantum where you can go in and see what you have listed on the stock market, as well as inventory that you don't have listed on the stock market, and provides you an easy way of going in and flagging which items you want to post and which items you want to remove. We've added imaging to that, so if you want to add images to these, you can select which ones you want to display on the stock market. And we've also put a pricing control on there. So if you want to price your items, anybody who's has a buy it now function on the stock market can put pricing on there and choose to have it listed on the stock market website. For more information on our stock market enhancements that we've done, and these are just 3 of them, we've done quite a bit. Steve Powell will be doing a primary session on this. It's going to be today at 3:25. So for those of you that want more information on that, please feel free to visit that session. And like I said, over 400 enhancements done. These were just a few. Just a look back at what we've been doing over the last year. We have been very busy. So now I'd like to take the opportunity to pass it over to Todd Lewis, who will talk about the future direction of quantum control.
Thank you, Nick. I think I'm going to use this microphone instead of the other one, although I'm not sure why it's crackling. Yes, the future direction of quantum. You know, what you heard Nick say a lot of times there is this is easier, this is quicker, this is faster. You know, the way we see these trends, and you can even see the trends in what we've done in the last 12 months. You know, just about every one of these enhancements does something that causes your situation to be smarter or faster. That's a real simple way of saying where quantum is going. The areas that are getting the most attention in that regard, I've listed here, and I have a slide for each one of them, so we'll go through each one of them in a little more detail. But you can see dashboards and mobile devices, you know, the newer technologies finding its way into the application more and more. The stock market, we'll talk about that. There's a lot of value in the stock market. It just makes sense to bring more of that into quantum. We'll talk a little bit about the portal and how that connects customers and vendors to your processes so that, you know, their processes and yours are synchronized, and that is both smarter and faster, of course. We'll talk about hosted infrastructure. That is something that's coming. And then we'll talk a little bit about process improvement, and that's kind of a generic statement, process improvement, but so many enhancements fall into that category, and we see that continuing in a big way. Before I go into those individual slides, I'd just like to talk about that bottom bullet point. Just a simple way of saying that, you know, it is our responsibility to keep up to date with the latest version of Windows, with the latest version of Oracle. If Microsoft Exchange email comes up with something and we're not compatible with it, we have to fix quantum. And we do a lot of that behind the scenes. It's not always obvious to you that we're doing that, but Microsoft comes up with stuff that confounds us sometimes, and so does Oracle. And by the way, on that subject, just a little bit of a bulletin to the IT people here. Windows 10. Windows 10 does have a few things in it that will be a problem to the earlier releases of quantum. So before you upgrade to Windows 10, talk to us. We will have a later version of quantum that'll be compatible with Windows 10, so it'll be fine, but earlier versions are going to have problems in a few areas. And you know, this is one of the things that happens is other technologies that we have to integrate with, you know, move forward. So just going on to the dashboards, the first bullet point, and Nick talked about this, but I want to expand on it, and this is why this area is going to get a lot of attention. Anyone that can write a SQL statement can create a dashlet, right? Everybody knows what a dashlet is. It's a graph, it's a pie chart, it's a bar chart. It's obviously a way to represent volumes of data in an image rather than a tabular report, right? This is business intelligence, very powerful. One of the things we've learned about dashboards with our new module, though, is that the challenging part about a dashboard is it's really not a one-size-fits-all situation. Everybody has a little bit different idea what they want to see, how they want to aggregate the data, what are their performance metrics that they want to watch. So the other thing we find is that it is a challenge when you ask someone, what metrics do you want to see? And we find that right off the bat people have some ideas, but they don't know exactly. And we find that the process of deciding what your dashboard should look like is a learning process. So then I go back to anyone that can write a SQL statement can create a dashlet. It really needs to be that easy. If you're going to get through this learning process, trial and error, we have examples of customers that have purchased this module, implemented it, and have hundreds of dashlets very quickly. And they find out which ones they want, and then their appetite grows, and then their acumen for designing dashlets improves, and they design some more. So we think this is going to be a very big benefit to our user community. And as far as the future of it, you're just going to see a whole lot more out of the box. If you purchase the module, you'll see many, many, many dashlets to start with. But the value of the module will really be the fact that you can modify it and you can grow with it and you can learn how to use it and design it yourself. Mobile devices, Nick talked about this. We're kind of excited about this. I don't have to rehash it all, but it is the technology coming down in price, becoming easier to use, that allows us to offer this. The benefits are obvious. You don't have to be anchored to your desk. It saves an enormous amount of time. So back to faster and smarter, this is very much faster stuff. We expect in the next year to have more mobile functionality related to work recording processes. Nick mentioned a few that we manage with the mobile device, but there will be more. And keep in mind, mobile, it does save time, but it's also paperless. That's the other aspect of mobile. So when you start talking about signing off things and approving things that used to take paper, mobile devices will take us all to a place where we start removing paper and more paper. Stock market integration. The stock market is growing. There's more activity every year and there's more content every year. And when I say activity, I'm talking about eyeballs, right? Number of people searching the stock market, seeing the stock market, both inside of Quantum and on our website. An increase of 23% in searches last year. It increases every year. And the same with content. Content increases every year, and so, if you need inventory, that's a benefit to you. There's more out there to see. If you're selling inventory on the stock market, the fact that 23% increase in people that see that is valuable. So it just makes sense that we bring that value of those kinds of into Quantum. There is integration between stock market and Quantum, but there's going to be more. We're going to have the stock market RFQing available from purchase management. There might be a buy now feature in there where if you want to publish inventory on the stock market and someone sees that inside of Quantum, because we put it right there in front of everybody, and you want them to have the ability to buy now through PayPal, that'll be there. It's maybe not a model for everybody, but it is a model that may work very well for some. The other thing that stock market we want to see, we predict this as a future direction. Well, we'd like it to be a future direction, and we have people talking to us about it. I'm talking about integration to other platforms. We would like other applications to have access to the stock market. And, we're talking to people about that. But what that will do is increase both the activity and the content, so it helps with the growth. We believe stock market is going to be the premier listing platform on the planet, if it's not already. We tried very hard to bring it to where it is, but we're not done. We intend to try even harder to keep it going. Quantum Portal, another thing that Nick talked about. The Quantum Portal really is for you and your, to connectivity to your customers and vendors. That's a little bit of the difference between a dashboard, which is really internal access to Quantum, your internal company accessing Quantum, and the portal more for connectivity to customers and vendors, having customers approve quotes, sending RFQs, having vendors log on, having customers see AR statement, those kinds of things. We think that what's going to happen in the very near future with the portal, or in the next year, is that more vendor-related processes. So, imagine you send a repair order to a repair vendor and you're wanting them to give you a quote. Well, maybe they can log on to the portal, provide you the quote that way. Maybe you can give them an approval or a rejection through the portal. Maybe they can update the portal with the estimated delivery date. Maybe they can go there again and say it's not going to make it. So, your vendors, repair vendors and, parts vendors can use the portal. And of course, what this does is it integrates your processes with their processes. Nick talked about that, and there is a session on that as well. Hosted infrastructure, I put this in here just because it is happening. It's the idea that Amazon might host your hardware, your infrastructure. Might not be Amazon, it could be someone else. It could be another division in your corporation that hosts it, still hosting. If it's not, if your company, your division is not doing it directly, someone else is doing it for you, that's hosted infrastructure. We thought this would be adopted much quicker. More and more people going to Amazon. It just makes sense, doesn't it, that if somebody can take that, let's call it a headache for now, the networks and Windows and Oracle and the backups and the failover and redundancy and all those things, and they can just take it from you, and you can focus on your business. Doesn't that just make sense? Well, it does just make sense, but there are some hurdles. There's because of ITAR and some other things, there are government restrictions on data hosting. If you've got data that's going to be ITAR control and you can't have non-American citizens looking at it or whatever, these platforms come with complexities. Amazon does have something called GovCloud that manages those things. But we think those issues will get resolved. We have more and more of our customers asking about this. Adoption is not, it's not a mob scene out there, everyone going to hosted infrastructure, but the costs are coming down. The rationale for doing it is improving, so we think that'll be a direction. Now my sort of generic area process improvement. Most of the enhancements we do are about process improvement in one way or another. It is about making a process smarter or faster or both. We have been asked to improve Event Manager and Contact Manager in this regard a lot, and we think it'll continue. The Event Manager can be, and many of you use it for this. We use it extensively, and most of our customers that have this module use it to improve process discipline, right? Event Manager can create contacts and assign them. It can communicate with customers if you want to send them your payments are late or your part didn't arrive, and the Event Manager does that, creates a contact, assigns a contact to someone in your company, and now the process has discipline, right? You got visibility, and there's a lot of obvious things this can do. The Event Manager can alert you to things to help you be proactive. You've heard this before. In fact, many of these directions I'm talking about, we talked about last year, and they are continuing, but this area gets a lot of attention. Nick talked about how we have more places in Quantum where you can configure Quantum to automatically, create a contact for a stock line and for other entities in Quantum. Very soon, you will be able to create and assign a contact to just about anything. Anywhere where you need more process discipline is where this belongs. So we see that's where it's going. So this is, sort of the wrap-up slide for this. We really know that it's not our direction we're talking about. It is your direction. We know it's never really quite finished. We know, as Z would say, the road to construction, the road to success is always under construction. So we're excited about where this is going and where we're going with you. And finally, I would encourage you all to go to the booth, go to these sessions about these new products, take a look at what we're doing, get a closer look at it, and then give us your feedback. This business of us improving Quantum, you telling us what needs fixed, us improving Quantum, it's very much a cycle, a circle, if you will. It's important to us that it works, that you do provide feedback, and you guys aren't shy, so I don't think it'll ever stop. But I can assure you we'll never stop listening. Thank you.